On today's Star Wars lore video, we look at how to take down Super Star Destroyers. Hey guys, this is EckhartsLadder. Hello and welcome to another Star Wars lore video. Today's video is sponsored by the folks over at the EckhartsLadder Patreon. You guys make it so I can still make videos even when the ad revenue is low, as it is in January and February. I'll be thanking each and every one of you guys down in the description, but I'd like to give a special thank you to Salty, Chris, Rudolph Von Wolf, and Dan, all of you guys who have been supporting me in the highest 3 tiers for some time now. Also to Brandon, who's been a Patreon in various tiers for some time. Thank you very much, guys. And if you want to join the club, you can go to patreon.com/EckhartsLadder. There's various rewards, including Discord rewards, and I'm going to be sending out the t-shirts and the other paraphernalia this week. Alright, so on to the topic for today's video. We'll be focusing on how Executor class Super Star Destroyers were taken down in Star Wars Legends and Canon. The focus will primarily be on old Legends expanded universe material, just because we really learn a lot more about the individual craft. In Canon, there were a total of 12 Executor class Super Star Destroyers, and I believe we only actually know how 3 were destroyed. The Executor, of course, was blown up in the Battle of Endor. The Arbitrator was lost due to a miscalculated hyperspace jump, and the Ravager was destroyed at the Battle of Jakku by New Republic forces, including several Starhawk battlecruisers. Other dreadnoughts were either stolen by various forces, destroyed in unnamed battles, or in the case of the Eclipse, commandeered by Imperial forces and hidden in the unknown regions. With that said, let's now focus specifically on Legends and look at 3 methods used by the New Republic and various other factions to take down Executor class dreadnoughts. The first method I'm going to call firepower. The Executor class Super Star Destroyer is an absolute behemoth with thousands and thousands of weapons. Still, a good commander can take down a Super Star Destroyer with good tactics, overwhelming force, or preferably some combination of the two. Super Star Destroyers are armed with thousands of turbo lasers. In order to take one down, you must take advantage of any defensive gaps. This is easier if you have multiple ships. One tactic is to have enough large capital ships near the Super Star Destroyer that it can't focus on a single vessel. That way the fire is sort of spread out and one ship won't have to bear the entire brunt of the assault. This, however, works even better if you can get numerous ships in a vulnerable position. The most notable one would be behind the engines of the ship. The firing arc of the Super Star Destroyer covers mostly the front of the vessel. The back is relatively open for attack. In other words, get lots of powerful ships, divide the Executor's fire, get them in vulnerable positions, basically just attack away. However, that's going to be a lot more difficult if the Executor has an escort fleet. Sometimes it won't even be possible. The Rebel Alliance and the New Republic often needed multiple attacks to take down a single Super Star Destroyer. Sometimes they would just damage the ship or take down the escort fleet, then have to retreat. It's all worth it if in the end you manage to take down the dreadnought. Starfighters will be particularly helpful in taking down large ships, and the Executor class Super Star Destroyer is no exception. It does have a point defense weapon system, however most of the ship's energy is dedicated to its turbo lasers, ion cannons, and missile launchers. The Executor is also vulnerable to attacks across the ship's cityscape. Stay low, do bombing runs, try to inflict as much damage on hard points as possible. Several Super Star Destroyers have been taken down this way, just through conventional firepower and good strategy. For example, the Executor at the Battle of Endor, Warlord Zsinj's fearsome Iron Fist was eventually destroyed by a combined New Republic Hapes Consortium fleet, particularly through the use of concussion missiles and proton torpedoes, with the Millennium Falcon dealing one of the final blows. The Reaper was also destroyed in a conventional way, however it had been previously damaged by the Lusankya. Speaking of, the Lusankya, as most of you guys know, was a modified Super Star Destroyer. Using other dreadnoughts against Executors can be very effective. The Essential Guide to Warfare tells the story of the Panthak, which was a Mandator 3 dreadnought which managed to destroy the Executor known as the Whelm. At the Battle of Orinda, the New Republic was forced to retreat the Lusankya due to the presence of 2 dreadnoughts. Famously, the Eclipse class Super Star Destroyer was known for using absolute overwhelming force to destroy the Annihilator with a single shot from its super weapon. Other super weapons, whether ground or space-based, can also be very, very effective. Aside from sheer force, the second way to take down an Executor is to use its size against it. In the X-Wing vs TIE Fighter game, we see the Vengeance Dreadnought taken down by ships filled with explosives. This tactic will be especially effective if you can take down the ship's shields, because we've previously seen Executor class dreadnoughts survive being rammed by ships coming out of hyperspace, so their particle shielding is very strong. However, putting a slight twist on that method, you can also ram the dreadnought into things. Famously, the Lusankya on its own accord rammed a Yuzan Vong world ship, destroying both vessels. In Battlefront Elite Squadron for the Nintendo DS, an Executor class dreadnought also rams a planetary shield, taking the shield down, but also annihilating the vessel. I think the whole ramming thing is pretty self-explanatory, so let's move on to the third method, perhaps the most effective one, but the most difficult to pull off. Covert operations are one of the best ways to take down a large ship with limited resources. However, you need highly skilled troops. The troops can be pilots like the aces of Rogue Squadron, who in Rogue Squadron 3 destroy an under construction dreadnought, or they can be special forces units. We've seen the Terror in Rebel Assault 2 and the Nighthammer, both destroyed after teams enter the ships and sabotage it from the inside. Sometimes you can combine treachery with firepower. For example, Zsinj's Razor Kiss was destroyed by a fleet, but only after its shields were destroyed from the inside. This has been an exhaustive list of the ways Executor class Super Star Destroyers have been taken down in Canon and Legends. If none of these work for you, think about looking to how other large ships have been destroyed. For example, the Eclipse class Super Star Destroyer was destroyed by a force storm of Emperor Palpatine, while the second one was destroyed by R2-D2 working on the inside. Force powers, ancient entities, powerful artifacts, all of these can work for you if none of the above suggestions do. But let me know what you think. What did you think of this video down in the comment section? Did you like it? And of course, what do you want to see next? If you guys want to support the channel, join the Discord at discord.gg/EckhartsLadder. Consider supporting me on Patreon, and if you want, follow me on Twitter. Until next time, guys, may the Force be with you.